Sports presents from Inglewood, California, Forum Championship Rodeo. Horses, and that's what you're going to be seeing plenty of this evening, direct from the Forum in Los Angeles. Good evening for Home Box Office Sports. I'm Spencer Ross along with Clem McSpadden. Clem, the manager of the national finals of the Professional Rodeos Association, which takes place in Oklahoma City, and a gentleman who's been associated with rodeo for these many years. And we're going to be together tonight as Home Box Office Sports presents from the fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California, the Forum Championship Rodeo. Steer wrestling here at the fabulous Forum, and this is a time event. Quicker you can get that steer down, tie him up, better you're going to fare.
Cattle here in the Forum are given about a 5-foot start. Each contestant is behind a barrier. We're watching now Larry Rogers of Norco. Now, if he leaves too quickly, he breaks this barrier in front of his steer wrestling horse. He will then be assessed a 10-second fine. He must jump the back of his horse to the horns of the steer, bring the steer to a stop, and then twist the steer down. Now, the steer does his own barrier pulling. If you'll notice closely, when the steer comes out to shoot, a rope breaks. That, in turn, releases the barrier. Watch the hazer straighten the steer, keeping him running straight, so Rogers can apply the hold.
A pretty good ride for Larry Rogers, a veterinarian in Norco, California. That hazer is mighty important. If he can't keep that steer in a straight line, he's in trouble.
Well, Rogers actually got out a little bit late. This time will be beaten because on these cattle, I think we should see sometimes, hopefully not, around the 5 or 6 second range. These are Mexican Corriente cattle, the only place in North America where these horn cattle are raised under desert conditions, and they, in effect, do not outgrow their horns as they would on lush pasture up here. So every rodeo producer in the United States and Canada has to buy these Corriente cattle, the horn cattle, from Mexico each year. Now, this is Farrell Goff of Oakdale, and through the years, Oakdale has probably produced as many professional cowboys for some reason as any other community in the United States. These men set or place their horses deep in the box behind the barrier, and they try to just brush the barrier aside. In other words, they try to foul, but not quite. And the ability or the luck in starting or scoring the horse is so important. Now, a man will not ask for a steer until that steer is standing normally on all 4 feet with his head facing the arena. If the steer has his head turned to the left or right, and the contestant goes ahead and asks for him, then he runs the risk of the steer hanging a horn in the slatted portion of the chute and stopping him for just a split second. That would cause the man to break the barrier. He got out late, realizes that he can't do any good on this one, and will forfeit his entry fee. So Goff is no time.
So Farrell Goff eliminated. Walter Wyatt will be next, and Waller, who was a finalist at Oklahoma City last year, and he also works as a double for actors on television and movies. And he's just coming back after a long illness.
Yeah, here's a big, strong fella from Lakeview Terrace, California. And you see largely the big men in steer wrestling, 6-footers and the 200-pound people, while the bareback riders, bull riders, and bronc riders largely are the 135 to 165-pound people. The horse probably is 3/4 of a man's success in this event. Regardless of your talent, if you can't get your hands on a steer, you're not going to win.
Got him down. Had a little bit of trouble. That's Walter Wyatt from Lakeview Terrace, California, in a time of 9.8 for Walter Wyatt. Next up will be Jim Charles. Time of 9.8 for Walter Wyatt.
Now watch where Walter's feet are. They're too far in front of the steer's head. A man wants his feet to be to the left of the steer's head so he can shape the steer up quickly. Now here he's has the front hold applied, and we'll watch especially the position these men have their feet. When they jump, they want their feet to be to the left of the steer's head at about a 30 or 40 degree angle. then by pushing down on the steer's left horn and jerking with their own right arm, which changes the direction of the steer, it whips the steer. And it's a thing of beauty when a man outweighed by a steer 4 times. When the steer turns, the nose comes up for a split second, and it's a thing to watch. Here's Jim Charles from Oakdale, another great veteran cowboy. He's gone to the finals in previous years in this event and bull riding, and he scored well. Watch him stay on his feet, and right there.
Oh,
we'll have a new
time.
leader if he didn't break the barrier, and Jim doesn't think he did. He didn't even look back, and with 6-5, Jim Charles now takes a 2-second lead over the field.
That's a big lead over Larry Rogers. And here's
now
Jim
watch the jump. His feet to the left of the steer's head, pushing down on the steer's left horn. And as the steer comes around to his left, the nose comes up for a split second. And a good time of 6-5.
They've amended that now, and they've made it even better. 6.4 for Jim Charles. Bob Barnes now from Lakeview Terrace, California, whose regular profession, he's a horseshoer.
Well, you know, a good horseshoer can make, $20,000 or $25,000 a year now, just real easily, because the horse population in the country is so big, and there are many schools, farriers, colleges all over the country.
Might be easier to find a horseshoer than find a neighborhood cobbler.
Well, it probably is, but you got to have a strong back. Now, Barnes got out a little bit late. Then the steer faded to his right. And again, these are the breaks of the game.
Could you lay some of the blame there on the hazer, not keeping the steers straight?
Not necessarily. I don't know these cattle. They've been run 2 or 3 times before, and in every pen of cattle, you're going to have 2 or 3 steers that don't run.
The problem for Bob Barnes, beginning right here.
Here's Bob Barnes. Now notice the hazer is a little bit late. Now watch the steer duck almost under the hazer's horse, completely away from the steer wrestler. The hazer was trying to do his part, but Bob had no chance at all.
Clem McSpadden, what was your best event as a rodeo man?
Well, I got tired of announcers. They used to say Clem McSpadden no time, so I guess every announcer is a frustrated contestant, you know, whether he's in rodeo. I roped and bulldogged, and I was average. I never did, you know, make them quake in their boots, but
Clem, you've done a lot of things in your life, including being a member of the United States Congress as a representative from the state of Oklahoma.
Well, it was, you know, I feel very humbly and very sincerely thankful that I had that chance for a couple of years, and I enjoyed it. I didn't necessarily like living in Washington. Now, we're watching Cliff Armstrong now from Norco, and right there, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
4.9.
We'll back up. This is Walter Scott of Sylmar, California. Shifts his weight. Now watch his feet. Jerks the steer's head to his left. Keeps the left horn down. The nose is up. And that is letter perfect.
4.9. He's a good buddy of actor James Caan, and we'll be seeing James Caan. He'll be competing in the team roping tonight. So James Caan has become a rodeo cowboy.
Yes, he has. He's competed in you know, many rodeos all over the country, and is a darn good team roper, fine healer. So we goofed a moment ago. This is Cliff Armstrong from Norco. The hazer, incidentally, is not paid a set salary, but he shares, in a percentage basis, the winnings of the man he hazes for, if that fellow's lucky enough to win.
Some hazers also.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Practically every contestant at one time or another will serve as a hazer, and it shows you great sportsmanship. Feet are in the right place. Now he's way out in front of the steer, and when you're in front of the steer, you don't get the leverage. You've got to be almost in front of the steer's left shoulder. He was in front of the steer's head, didn't get the leverage he needed, and was 6'8". We're watching now, again, Cliff Armstrong. Now, so far, so good. Now watch his feet. As the steer comes around, he's down and way in front of the steer. Almost loses him. Then with his left arm goes back and gets the nose.
And that's not easy. That's not a light little animal there, is it?
No, he made a splendid recovery just throwing the steer down. For a split second, he was in real bad shape.
Lee McLean is next, our final contestant in the steer wrestling from Los Angeles, California.
And this 4.9 of Walter Scott. Here's a quick jump by McLean. He could do it. Steer falls slow.
And Lee had a great opportunity but couldn't get the steer down. He had an opportunity to perhaps win this event, but he winds up with no time. Does Lee McLean. So the winner of our steer wrestling event is Walter Scott. Walter Scott, our winner, and a time of 4.9.
Watch him shove down on the steer's left horn, jerk with his right arm, which changes the steer's direction. The nose comes up for a split second. Now, had the steer's right hind foot fallen under him, he could have been 4.45. That slowed him down 0.3. But who's going to holler about a 4.9? Nobody.
4.9, good enough to win it for Walter Scott. We're going to see some trick riding here, and it's going to be performed by the Ellerman family.
Well, the ultimate of acrobatics on horseback. The first known trick riders were the Russians a century or so ago. It's been proved on a great deal by the American cowboy and cowgirl. This is the Ellerman family, who call themselves the Cossack Riders. They're from Elk Creek, California. They run all the way from 7, Joselle with pigtails is 7, up to Meddy's 17. Now here's the little gal. Pigtail flying, and look, Mama, no hands. This is a flying stand, our hippodrome stand. And for a 7-year-old, she's something else, isn't she?
That's not bad for a 17 or a 27-year-old.
This is the 17-year-old now with a fender drag and back to the saddle. Here's Fawn, no, that was Troy. Here's Fawn, who is 11. She's doing a Russian Cossack death drag. Joselle, a 7-year-old with a 1-foot flying stand. And she's about the size of a horsefly on the back of that horse. Here's the Russian Cossack death drag.
And very easy to understand why that was named the death drag.
Here's a single vault, split to the neck, scissors back to the saddle by Troy. Here's Fawn with baton twirling and a hippodrome stand. And Joselle again, this time with a fender drag. A very fine family, the Ellerman family, the Cossack Riders from Elk Creek, California. Meddy 17, Troy 13, Fawn 11, and Joselle 7 years of age.
Okay. Doug Brown was 3.
Right now we go to saddle bronc riding, and Raymond Lewis of Iona, California, who participates mainly in rodeos on the West Coast. And again, Clem, it's an event. You got to stay up there 8 seconds.
He's drawn the horse called Cal Expo that has been to the finals. When the horse makes the first jump out of the flyaway chute, the shotgun chute, the men must have their feet forward, spurs touching in front of the point of the break of the horse's shoulder. And he was in bad shape, was Raymond Lewis, for a moment, but gee, he made a splendid recovery. Now the spurring method is what we call full stroking, from up in front of the point of the horse's shoulders back to the cantle of the saddle. And you do that with balance only. You cannot outstout a 1,200-pound bucking horse. That's balance and rhythm.
But an excellent score of 65.
Now the first jump out of the chute, the shotgun chute, look at the jump this horse makes. See where his feet are. He was up in front of the point of the break of the shoulders.
And a score of 65, which is a pretty fair score. Adrian, Texas's Bobby Brown, a veteran cowboy who's been a national finalist contestant. He will be up next.
Bobby Brown has started a trend in which, if it works tonight, when the whistle blows, if he successfully rides the horse, he just steps off. and just kind of pulls the ripcord. His father, his late father, was a very fine calf roper back in the 1940s and 50s. And 6 years ago in January, as a high school youngster, he joined the Rodeo Cowboy Association at Amarillo, Texas, for his first professional rodeo. And he's been to the finals 3 times. Now let's watch and see if he does it. Yeah, there it is. He just pulls the ripcord.
Doesn't need the pickup men, and we really haven't mentioned the pickup men, but they're a very important factor in these rodeo events.
Jim Stone and Lee Rosser, pickup men here, and they're doing a very creditable job. Excellent.
And a score of 64 for Bobby Brown puts him into 2nd place, and now Doug Brown of Silverton, Oregon. And that's the pickup men's job, to try and get Arizona slim.
And you see the saddle on the horse, all these saddles, the make of the saddle, the specs have been standardized, which gives each and every contestant the same equal and fair chance. Now, if a man is tapped off of the horse, he'll spur forward when the horse's front feet are on the ground, go back to the cantle of the saddle, and then back forward. Here is Doug Brown of Silverton, Oregon, who leads for the World's Championship this year and is a former World's Champion bull rider.
And a good ride on Southern Pride.
He does the same thing. See, Doug Brown, Monty Henson, this man, and Bobby Brown all pull a ripcord.
And a score of 74, which puts Doug Brown into the lead. The horse he was on, Southern Pride, another grandson of Man of War.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it at all for the simple reason that if a pickup man doesn't know you're going to do that, you're wiped out. And it can happen to you.
Well, he got off beautifully. Joe Marvel's next from Battle Mountain, Nevada.
Practically like a rodeo's who's who. 2 years ago at the age of 19, Joe Marvel won the average in this event at the national finals. He's drawn a horse called Jambalaya, and he comes from one of the biggest ranches in that part of Nevada. Boy, look, the first jump these horses make out of the shotgun chutes. Now watch the rhythm. Forward when the horse's front feet are on the ground, back to the cantle of the saddle, then back forward again. Perfect balance.
That's a pretty good ride, isn't it?
Not as good as Doug Brown's, I don't imagine.
I'll say 62. I'm gonna play a judge. 65.
You're judging pretty well. I learned a long time ago that when announcers start judging, the bronc riders don't like it, and rightfully so. So I'm not going to commit myself. I'll just say, you know, good or not so good, maybe.
Dennis Riders from Scottsdale, Arizona. Dennis, the 1970 world champion saddle bronc rider.
Joaquin, the name of the horse under him, named for the late Joaquin Sanchez, one of the finest rodeo clowns. Riders, originally out of Clare City, Minnesota, former world's champion. On a spinning horse like this, and you don't get the timing, it's hard to spur. And sometimes, you know, horses are creatures of habit, just like we are. And sometimes they do their things. Now, the judges, in their wisdom, say that this man didn't receive an equal and fair chance, and they have given him a re-ride. So far, so good. And then when Joaquin bucks into the wall and turns back, this might have broken the horse's rhythm. And sometimes horses buck better in outdoor arenas than they do indoor arenas. And then again, sometimes they just don't feel like bucking like we do.
Yeah, that's what happened there with Joaquin. Jerry Hickson, Wood Lake, California.
He's on Bicentennial. Hickson is a veteran campaigner, one event specialist, competes only in saddle bronc riding. You see the length of rein he's giving the horse, which is most important. Too short a head, and you'll go off on the rein side when the horse drops his head, and too long a rein, you can go out over the rumble seat. And again, the shotgun chutes being used for the first time in many years, and the bronc riders figure they have the advantage until the horse is bucked once or twice out of here. Now the bull riders feel they'll be at a disadvantage. We'll talk about that later on. See a horse, you know, he's never been in it before, and Hickson now awaits the decision of the judges, and he will get a re-ride.
So a re-ride for Jerry Hickson on a horse that
now
was bucking pretty well.
They say no re-ride. Is that right? We're trying to see what's going on the arena floor. Yes, re-ride. We thought so, and then we heard someone from our spotter down there say no reride. Now this horse has never been turned out of a shotgun shoot. He just doesn't know what to do, so he turns around and in so doing, bangs against the chute, has fouled Hickson, so Hickson gets off and does what the contestants say. He declared himself, meaning I got fouled, give me a reride.
Bob Cook will be next.
He's drawn Rawhide, and this is a horse that bronc riders don't like to draw. He's hard to ride, unpredictable, and let's see what he does tonight. Cook makes most of the rodeos up and down the coast, the Pacific Northwest, and is a good, solid saddle bronc rider. He nods his head. See, this horse takes a run at you for about 25 yards, and then breaks in two. And Cook was in a little bit of trouble out there about the 6-second mark, but he recovered. But when a horse, spends 1 or 2 of his 8 seconds running, it's not helping him get points. It's not helping you get points. And even though he's difficult to ride, he's hard to place on because of the way they have to be marked. A 52. 5-2.
From about the 3-second mark on, after the horse took his run, it was a good ride on both counts, was it not?
It was, yeah. It was better than decent. It was a good average ride.
Mel Coleman from Pierceland, Saskatchewan, up in Canada.
The 1974 and repeated in 1975 is the Canadian champion. And aside from hockey, I guess saddle bronc riding would be the second most popular sport in Canada, especially in Western Canada. And this guy has a beautiful riding style. He's a slasher, like Doug Brown, has a great sense of balance. And he's drawn a horse called Pancho Villa, and a horse that, quite frankly, I don't know much about. Melvin said he's an average horse. He's never been on him. He used to be in the bareback string, but Melvin has never attempted to ride him as a saddle bronc. But there you saw a man perfectly in control. Horse probably didn't buck as well, maybe as Arizona Slim or Southern Pride or Cal Expo, but a good solid horse this evening.
What really impresses me is the hats never fall off the heads.
And ace. Now as we watch, he rides with his right hand. Most men ride with their left, but you see the full stroking. And he gets, for his efforts, a 67.
Which puts him in his second place. And here is the man to beat. Larry Mahan from Sherman Oaks, California, 6 times an all-around champion cowboy.
He's on, he's a corker. And Mahan, of course, competes not full-time anymore, but a great competitor and has done so much for the sport of rodeo. He's the kind of a guy that'll spend hours autographing or writing letters to kids who want to become professional bronc riders or bull riders, as the case might be. 6 times world's champion all-around cowboy.
And he winds up with a 53 score, which puts him out of the money. And check that, a 52, not a 53. Our leader so far, Doug Brown, on Southern Pride with a 74. That's the score that Cody Woodson from Scottsdale, Arizona has to beat.
Cody Woodson on Dynamite.
Rodeo becoming an increasingly popular sport in the colleges. That's where Cody got started.
College rodeos, high school rodeos, and they're turning out so much young talent.
And a pretty good ride for Cody. Not that tough a bucker.
No, an average horse again, but Cody acquitted himself real well, I think. Didn't threaten the leaders.
And an excellent score of 68, which puts Cody into second place.
Barely into
Coleman's
second.
third with 67. A winner in the saddle bronc riding competition on Southern Pride was Doug Brown with an excellent score of 74 and a super ride by Doug. So the arena cleared, and we get set for our next event, the calf roping. And this once again a timed event. And Wayne Orme of L.A., California will be the first man up. Spencer Ross along with Clem McSpadden at the Forum in Inglewood, California. First of all, in the mouth right now, Clem.
In the mouth is the tie rope, or as the Cowboys say, pigging string. It's about 6 feet in length, and you can see the loop is about 6 inches across. Now, if Wayne Orme ropes a calf when he throws him, he will then quickly transfer this loop from his mouth to the calf's right front foot, bring the hind legs on top of the front foot, make 2 wraps and a half hitch, and that's the way they securely tie them down. Now, as was the case in steer wrestling, a man is behind a barrier, and here at the Forum, the calves are given about a 6-foot start. And should the man leave too quickly and break the barrier, he gets the 10-second fine or penalty. Should the horse jerk the calf down, the calf has to be let up, thrown by hand. And in this event, we don't have any officially recognized world's records, although the Guinness book says 7-4 by Junior Garrison is the fastest calf ever tied. But due to different length of arenas, we have different length starts or scores, so we have no standard size arena, and thus our times will vary. So Wayne Orme from Los Angeles is first to go, one of the nation's top black calf ropers, and he throws this one away.
So nothing for Wayne Orme. And there's the calf. When we speak of calves, we're not talking about an animal that weighs 40, 50 pounds. We're talking about an animal who's weighs about as much as a human being, an average human being.
No, much more. These calves, I hope human beings don't average this much. These calves will weigh around 260 to 285, a scant 300 pounds. You spoke of intercollegiate cowboys a few moments ago, and here's one of our very fine college cowboys coming up next.
Chris Liebert, Hartnell College in Salinas.
Again, the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association, the National High School Rodeo Association have many fine rodeos, and thus our kids, it's kind of a little league training ground for them, and we probably have more good talent among young people now than at any other time, probably in the history of our sport. And the quarter horses are used almost exclusively in the event, bred for a very blazing early burst of speed, and coupled to the primary cow sense that's inherent in them, make them real popular in the event. Again, the calves do their own barrier pulling. When this calf bursts from the chute, the length of the rope trailing him is exactly the length of the start of the score. And that rope around the calf's neck is held there by a single piece of string. Watch him break the barrier himself. Throws it off, roped him around the top of the head. It looked good for a moment, but we've had no luck so far in the calf roping.
You get an idea of why the unofficial world record, we'll call it, is 7.4. It's rough enough just to rope that calf.
Yes, it sure is.
Home Box Office Sports at the Forum in Inglewood, California. And there we are. And we're happy to be with you and hope you're enjoying professional rodeo.
The name of Rosser is a very old name and a good name in our sport. This is young Lee Rosser, who will go next. His father, Cotton Rosser, the boss man of the Flying U, is the rodeo producer here and owns, of course, this fine string of rodeo livestock. Cotton actually got his start at the college level a few years ago as a college champion about 20 years ago, and this young man is following in his dad's footsteps.
Lee was a student at Cal Poly. And he's worked just about everything in rodeo. And there we're going to see him in calf roping.
Maybe the third time will charm. Hope so.
You're a poet too.
No luck whatsoever. First it was Orme, then Liebert. Lee Rosser out quickly, swings 3 times. He's off on the right. Now watch him flank the calf down, his right hand in the flank of the calf. Now watch the tie rope. Look at the calf kick and strain.
And look how taut the rope is leading from the calf to the horse. The horse mighty important in this event.
Horse is at least 70% of the event. The horse, first of all, has to start or to score well. He has to stop straight and keep.
17.3 is the time.
Watch him throw right now. Steps off on the right. Horse stops, Now watch the horse get back, keep the rope tight, which helps Lee Rosser flank the calf. All right, here's what cost Lee. The calf kicked free. That cost him maybe 3 seconds. Now watch the wraps. Notice the small arc he takes just around the top of the calf's dew claws.
And Leo Camarillo of Oakdale, California, the current world champion all-around cowboy, along with Tom Ferguson. He was a winner of more than $50,000 in 1975, plus another $20,000 in bonus money. Quite a competitor.
Well, there might not be any better ropers in the country than this man, and that goes for team roping and calf roping also. He's an artist with a rope. Camarillo is, throws the first string off. See him go back for the spare tie rope. They keep the spare in the belt. And when he tried to string or put the loop on the calf's front foot, he was hurrying a little bit too much and threw it off. And all of this happened in 11.5. What would he have been had he not had to go back for the spare string?
A super performance.
He gets out late. He spanks his horse like a jockey will spank a horse occasionally. Now watch him get down the rope. This is important. He flanks in one motion. Now right here, he throws his first string off the calf's front foot, then has to reach back and get a spare and still tie this one in 11.5.
And there's our leader, Leo Camarillo of Riverside, California. And Peter Norris is next.
Pete's a fine veteran calf roper from Riverside. He's been roping professionally for about 15 seasons. He's been threatening to quit roping calves for several years and just devote most of his time to team roping.
Got to change again. Steve Branco will go first.
The calves are numbered and drawn for the contestants by the judges, and sometimes the assistants can't put the calves in like we have them on the program. Branco, another veteran. Here's a quick catch, much quicker than Camarillo is, but the horse is not helping him. See, the calf ran around him. The horse didn't back on the rope, but he gets by this one real smoothly. And the first thing he does is look up at the unofficial score clock, and I think we've got a new leader.
Unofficially a time of 10.7.
But he broke the barrier, and officially it is 20 7/10.
To break that barrier, it's a 10-second penalty.
Right there, had the horse gotten back a little on the rope, the calf wouldn't have run around him. See, the calf made almost a complete circle around him. Now watch these fast hands.
Jeff Copenhaver will be next from Spokane, Washington.
Jeff is the defending world's champion. His father, Deb Copenhaver, the world's champion saddle bronc rider a few years ago. Are you sure this is Copenhaver?
Jeff off to a poor start this year in rodeo competition.
Well, as Doug Brown said on the interview when you visited with him a few moments ago, you know, sometimes things just go together. And it's gone together for Doug Brown. It hasn't this year for Jeff Copenhaver, but he had a superlative year last year. And, of course, won the world's title.
Our leader so far is Leo Camarillo with 11.5, and Steve Branco would have been the leader, but he was penalized at 10 seconds for breaking that barrier. Here's Jeff Copenhaver.
Well, you never like to pick favorites, but this man is, I'll just say this, he's capable of being 10. He sure is. He's waiting very patiently now for the calf to stand on all 4 feet and face the arena so he can get the break, the start, or the score, which is so important. Horse is acting a little up, so he moves him, he untracks him, rides him forward. And they'll set these horses or place them on the opposite side of the box. Here's Copenhaver. Draws one that runs real hard. He's going to have to hurry to be 10 on this one. Well, let's watch his hands. When he crossed the calf's hind legs, he did not cross them smoothly. and he had to go back and recross or push down the top foot, and that cost him.
Unofficially 12.7, and that will put him into second place.
He gets out a little bit late, follows the calf 2 or 3 strides further. Watch him. Watch the horse stop. Watch the horse get back a step or two. Had to take the second hitch to flank the calf. Now right here, see, he had to recross or push down that top or right hind foot. That cost him maybe a second. He was 12-7 and turned what could have been a catastrophe into a solid run, and that's the mark of a good pro.
And that puts him into second place. Gerald Camarillo is next, and Gerald, the brother of our leader, Leo.
Well, one thing for sure, the Camarillos don't miss very many cattle. And they started team roping when they were little guys, under 10 years of age. And when they were 13 and 14 and 15, they were beating people in team roping, and they're still beating them.
Gerald was the world champion team roper back in 1969, as you say, a super team roper.
And their cousin, another Camarillo, is just about as good as these guys.
Rodeo's version of All in the Family.
That's for sure. Gerald and Leo and Reg Camarillo. Notice how he has his hat back. Our rules say you have to wear a cowboy hat, but there's nothing in the rules that say you can't lose it. And a lot of them, feel that a hat might get in their way.
Got a good time here.
Smooth run here. The only way you can fault this, he hesitated a little on the half hitch, but man, he's going to be something around 11, I think.
We may have a new leader.
Nope, the calf gets up. The calves must stay tied for 6 seconds before it's official, and this calf did not. And maybe that's why he took that extra time pulling the half hitch down. When a man does that, he figures that one of the previous wraps are loose, or the calf's feet aren't, the hind feet aren't flat.
And that's got to be a disappointment because his unofficial time was 11.3, which would have made him the leader.
You watch this. This is a picture perfect. Watch him pull a slack. Watch the horse stop. Gerald down the rope smoothly, flanking. He pulled that half hitch a little long, and from our angle here on the monitor, I don't know what happened. Sometimes they just get up. Sometimes they strain harder, and apparently that's what happened.
No, instead of an 11.3 and the lead, it is no time. Here's Peter Norris of Riverside, California.
Here's a veteran calf roper, been a top pro here on the coast for 15 or 20 years. And old folks is doing well this evening, isn't he?
And we may have a new leader in Peter Norris.
He could be 11 flat. Let's see.
10.8 for Peter Norris, and he is our leader.
So the old folks reign supreme tonight. Here's years of experience. Pete still gets off on the right, does it well. Calf is just getting up. Watch him flank in one motion. String out. Now watch him cross the hind legs. 2 wraps, then the half hitch. And that's smooth. And Pete Norris takes the lead.
Peter's second opportunity, and Peter Norris is our leader, and he turns out to be our winner with a time of 10.8, better than Leo Camarillo's 11.5, and finishing in third place was Jeff Copenhaver of 12.7. Pete Norris, the winner of the calf roping competition.
Now let's watch our winning run. Pete Norris. Watch him pull a slack. Steps off, horse, see how they stop on their hind feet? Except this horse actually bounced a little bit. He stopped and then actually bounced up a little. Flanks in one motion, drops the front foot, almost loses the calf, then makes this recovery. Gets those hind legs crossed, they're flat on top of the front foot. And from there on, it's smoothness.
Our winner, Peter Norris, in the calf roping competition.
Now here's an event that's not an official event, it's just for the fans. This is the Wild Buffalo Ride.
Tex Cannon and Pat Gillespie.
And the fans here at the Forum kind of like the buffalo riding. Magnificent beast of the West. I've talked to bull riders and bronc riders. I have never talked to buffalo riders.
I tell you, if more of them acted like that, there'd be more of them left.
Well, Cotton Rosser, the rodeo producer, the Flying U Rodeo Company, if there's anything different and novel, this man will, he'll think about it. Now, the next event is driving the buffaloes out. You can drive a buffalo exactly where they want to be driven, but thankfully they went out quickly tonight.
This is Dally team roping at the Forum.
And by Dally, that means the rope is not tied to the saddle horn as was in calf roping. It's loose, and when you rope the head or rope the heels, then when you pull a slack, you take turns, or in the Mexican, Dale la Vuelta, means taking turns with the rope around the horn. And it's probably the most scientific roping event of all. Here's John Wheatley heading. Gomez heeling, and he got them both.
That's a pretty good performance right there.
Probably have a new leader.
Time of 7.9, and that is our new leader. And next up will be Jimmy Kahn, the actor, and Jimmy Nickerson. And Kahn will be the heel man.
Nickerson from Woodland Hills, Kahn from here in Los Angeles, and what a versatile guy Jimmy Kahn is, and a favorite of all of the professional cowboys. He's, you know, a real regular fella, and he takes his team roping real seriously. He's been a member of our Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association now for the past 3 years, and he takes time from a very busy schedule, as you can well imagine, and gets to compete at probably 24 rodeos each year. Here's Kahn, the heeler on the gray horse. His header misses.
Oh, no score for James Kahn and Jimmy Nickerson.
Now, the teams actually are allowed 3 loops if they care to take them, but with the competition here, they know they couldn't possibly place, so they'll just take no time.
No score for James Kahn and James Nickerson. Steve Walker now, and LP Walker. And this is a father and son team.
This team from Torrance, California, LP will be heading, Steve Walker heeling. This event probably the most popular one here in California and Arizona. They produced more top team ropers than any other section of the country.
Time to beat is 7-9. They're not going to do it.
And the son, LP, missing, and that's 2 consecutive no times. Could be a different story here. Ken Luman will be heeling for Jack Gomez. Now, we saw Jack Gomez roping with John Wheatley a moment ago, taking the lead with 7-9. And in the event, contestants can't enter twice. So we'll see Ken Luman and Jack Gomez in competition twice this evening. Gomez roping with Wheatley, and now he's roping with Ken Luman. Ken from Merced, a perennial qualifier for the national finals. Just as solid a heeler as a person would ever want to see.
10 years ago, he was the national champion.
Yes, he was. And we'll see Jim Rodriguez up tonight, who is a former world's champion. So the names, the great names of our sport are here. The Rodriguezes, the Camarillas, the Lumans, Larry Mahan, Tom Ferguson will be on tap at another performance here at the finals, or at the Forum rather.
Kenny Luman will also compete later in this event with Jimmy Rodriguez. Right now it's Ken Luman and Jack Gomez. Dally team roping from the Forum, Spencer Ross along with Clem McSpadden. Gentleman who coordinates and helps put together the World Series of Rodeo. The finals take place in Oklahoma City in the month of December, the super event.
Well, we like to think it's the showcase of our professional sport, and we have fans from every state in the Union, Canada, Mexico, and charter from France last year and the year before last. We have about 250 people who come down from Canada each year. Back to the team roping now for Ken Lumen, roping with Jack Gomez. Lumen heeling, Jack Gomez will head this time. Gomez from Janesville, California, Lumen from Merced, Lumen a former champion. 7-9 is the time to beat. Gomez heading, Lumen heeling. Got them both. And we'll have a new leader. This should be in the low 7s.
And that's what it is, 7-1. So Jack Gomez now is in the lead, and he's also sitting in second place.
Watch Lumen right here as the heels are up. There's the throw, the slack, the turn or dally, and you can't get much better than that.
Time of 7-1. Ed Waite Jr. now will team with Gene Godwin. Godwin will be the head man, and Waite the heel man.
Although these men, Waite and Goodwin, compete only in this event and compete largely here in California. Don't travel as much as others. Don't let their lack of travel belie their ability. They're capable. 5 seconds here by catching only one heel. See the field judge wave a hand up, meaning a 5-second penalty will be added to the time. Be 10-2 plus 5 or 15-2.
Which is not a bad time.
No, not bad at all.
Ed Ballum and David Moats, and the time to beat is 7-1 in the Dally team roping.
Here's our next team now.
Ballum and Moats.
Ballum's a youngster, and we keep harping perhaps on the young breed, but here's a kid that can rope. He doesn't tonight, however.
And no score.
Well, when you have a 7-1 staring you in the face this early, many times you'll see fellas, they'll throw maybe a jump or a stride before the cinch throw would be.
Now here's a team coming up next with an opportunity perhaps to take the lead. Ken Lumen, who right now is the leader. He teamed with Jack Gomez. Comes up again, this time with Jim Rodriguez, who was a 4-time world champion.
Rodriguez, a tender age of 17, the youngest man ever to win a world's title, and he and Lumen have roped together for many years. But they blow it tonight.
No time. And the final competitors in the team roping, Ben Bates and Jerry Kilgore. Bates will be the head man, Kilgore the heel man. And the time to beat 7.1.
Bates originally came from up in Indiana and was a steer wrestler for many years. Qualified for the finals once. Came west here a few years ago. He'll be heeling for Jerry Kilgore. And Bates, like many professional cowboys out here, got to start in the movies as a stuntman, and he recently made a pilot with Dandy Don Meredith called, is it Banjo Hackett? I think that's right.
I believe so.
And it's a TV pilot. But Bates, a very tall fellow, about 6'5".
He also worked as a double for James Arness in Gunsmoke.
This is Kilgore heading, Bates heeling. Got him. They'll be just a little behind the leaders with 8-5. So we saw some fine team roping this evening, highlighted by the splendid run of Jack Gomez and Ken Lumen with 7-1. Well, we see the header. Now watch the heelers laying back 2 or 3 strides, because if the header is successful, he will then turn the steer, and that takes a second or so, giving the heeler just time enough to come in as the steer turns. And the heeler trails and drops that arm, throws the rope, the slack, and he got them both.
This next event is a time event, and the object, well, it's a horse race, folks. It's girls barrel racing.
And the girls have
rodeo
to
at the Forum.
The girls have to inscribe around the 3 barrels a cloverleaf pattern or design, and if a barrel's knocked down, there's a 5-second penalty. So it's a relatively easy event to judge and pick a favorite. Time is actually made or saved by the closeness with which the young ladies go around the barrels. This is Sue Rogers of Norco, California, and we saw her husband Larry Rogers in action earlier this evening.
14 is the time. 14 seconds. This is Sandy Busico.
And Sandy, having horse trouble, broke the pattern, received no time.
No time for Sandy. Rosie Webb is next from Paris, California. Time to beat, 14 seconds. Makes a good tight turn there. $13.8 is the time for Rosie Webb, and she is the new leader. 13.8. Dammy Johnson from Norco, California.
She's the current state champion here in California and went to the national finals last year in Oklahoma City for the first time, so she must be considered one of the favorites here at the Forum. Dammy Johnson.
Time to beat, 13.8. She just may have done it.
She did it by 1/10 of a second, 13.7.
And officially 13.6, so that's the time to beat. This is Bess Cheney from El Monte, California, looking to beat 13.6.
And here's one of the top Indian cowgirls. Look at her reach back and reset the barrel, which is permissible. So she negated a 5-second penalty.
And a time of 14, which puts her tied for 3rd place. Danny Connolly from Morro Bay, California, 13.6, the time to beat.
Little black mare she rides is a Texas quarter horse that she bought down there. She's one of the best known and popular trick riders in the rodeo business today, Danny Connolly.
Good performance by the student at California Polytechnical Institute. 13.9 puts her into 3rd place. Linda Adair from Anaheim.
She comes from a family who operates the stables in the Hollywood area and has a Western store as well. Her husband is a jockey, incidentally, and this gal, Linda, knocking down that 3rd barrel, has the 5-second penalty and a total time of 19.5, or 19.4.
Sharon Medeiros from Sylmar, California. Time to beat, 13.6. Dammy Johnson, the leader, and knocking down the barrel. That's 5-second penalty right there.
We saw some male stuntmen that are professional cowboys. This is a gal who's who doubled Barbara Stanwyck in Big Valley on the series a few years back.
19 seconds flat with that 5-second penalty. Ruth Johnson from Norco, California, looking to beat 13.6.
Here's a school teacher.
And a good performance. 14.4 puts her into 5th place. Marilyn Schaefer from Rosetta. She's a legal secretary.
So we have school teachers, stunt girls, legal secretaries, and cowgirls. And they're all cowgirls.
And Marilyn with a good ride here, looking to beat 13.6.
Hey, that dun horse kind of hard to ride when he came around that last barrel.
And Marilyn almost went down, and an even 14 for Marilyn. Cindy Rosser is the last one with an opportunity.
She's the daughter of our rodeo producer, Cotton Rosser. And a very versatile cowgirl. She rides roping horses and cutting horses in quarter horse competition here on the coast. And look at her ride. You can tell she's from a rodeo family and a ranching family.
And a time for Cindy of 14.3. A speedy event, a fun event, and the winner turns out to be Dammy Johnson with a time of 13.6. She made the National Finals rodeo for the first time back in 1975 and considered one of the best in the West Coast. Dammy Johnson.
We're going to see some of these guys in a minute. They're not steers, they're bulls, and they weigh about 3 times what a bulldogging steer, a team roping steer weighs. And about 150 pounds of man will be matched against about 17 or 1,800 pounds of bull.
These are the bull riders, the Brahma Bulls, and this event coming up a bit later. Right now, the Oklahoma Jackrabbit. And that's the funniest looking jackrabbit I've ever seen.
Well, this one's an even bigger jackrabbit than ones they say they have in Texas.
I hate to tell you this, but the rabbit has been out here twice, and you have not seen him yet.
I'll get the gun.
Get the gun. That's it.
Where'd he
The
go?
rabbit's out here already.
He's already.
He's been down through the fire patches, into the hutches, everywhere. You haven't seen
That's
him yet?
DC Cogborn.
Look around. He's out.
Still trying to find the rabbit.
He's a big one and he's fat. That's him.
I saw a rabbit!
He finally saw the rabbit.
A rabbit!
Look at the
There goes
size of
the rabbit
that.
again. There goes the rabbit.
Look at the size of him.
Very good.
That's what you call a large rabbit.
Hey, he run between my legs. Did you
Yeah, I
see
know he
him?
run between your legs. That ought to
When he
thrill
runs
you pretty
between
good.
my
That's
legs, I'm gonna shoot him right
yeah.
between
He's
the
liable to
eyeballs.
do it again.
I'm gonna shoot him between the eyeballs.
You're gonna do what to him?
I'm gonna shoot him between the eyeballs. When
You're gonna shoot him between the eyeballs. This ought to be pretty good.
Watch.
Okay, we're watching. Here he comes. Uh-oh. He's
That's
smart.
a smart
Jackrabbit.
rabbit.
You're not kidding. You didn't
Try
shoot
that
him.
again.
You try it again. Huh? There's the love call. Shoot him. He went battle. You got him around. The rabbit's down here. Guess what? He just shot his foot off. He shot the rabbit's still.
I
Wait.
got him.
Now you got him.
I got him. I'm gonna shoot him.
You're gonna shoot him?
I'm gonna shoot him.
You're not gonna shoot him like that.
Yes, I am.
No, be a sport about it.
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance. Don't shoot him,
Right.
money.
Hey, rabbit, you're gonna get a chance. Set up. Rabbit, set up. I'm gonna give you a chance.
Uh-oh. Now you can't shoot him when he's down.
He laid down. You ain't give him. You want me to shoot him?
No.
You want me to shoot him? Hey, rabbit, set up.
There he is. Now you can do it. Nope. Don't shoot him when he's down.
You want me to shoot him? You want me to shoot that rabbit? That's one dead rabbit.
You can't shoot him when he's down.
Yeah. Rabbit, set up.
Now he's up. Now he's down again.
Bang!
No, you missed him.
Bang!
Now he's not dying.
Bang!
You missed
I
him.
got him.
Now you got him. Now you got him. No, you didn't get him yet.
Bang! Bang! That's a tough rabbit.
You're not kidding. He's a tough rabbit. How many times you shot him?
Bang! Bang!
Uh-oh, you got him. Nope. You haven't got him yet.
He's not hurt.
He's
pretty
not
good
shot
rabbit.
yet.
Hey,
Is he?
rabbit, you
Is
wanna
he
be
dead?
friends? Let's be friends.
What are you
Come
going to do? Let's make up with
Wanna be
him. Yeah.
friends?
He
Come
didn't
on.
really
Hey,
shoot him.
Come on, let's be friends.
He's too
I'm
nice a
sorry.
rabbit to shoot. Give him 5. That's it. Atta boy. See, he didn't shoot him. It's his pal. He's not going to shoot his friend. Oh, my rabbit. We thank DC, and a reminder he's with us each and every performance right here with his jackrabbit with all the other fine animals.
And now perhaps the most exciting event of them all at a rodeo. The ever dangerous Brahma Bull.
This has got to be the most dangerous event, I think, on the American sporting scene. A man that weighs 150 on the average, matched at about 1,700 pounds of bull. The shotgun shoots, again, used for the first time. The bull riders say they're probably at a bigger disadvantage than the bronc riders. Here's Tony Medeiros, first to go on Typhoon. And he is off Typhoon.
This bull
Quickly with no
Typhoon
score.
once won an entire year without being ridden. And not ridden tonight. You got to stay on that bull for those 8 seconds.
The bull riders, as we said a moment ago, figure they might be at a bigger disadvantage because under the old chutes where the bulls have to turn to the right or left to come out, rider practically doesn't put all his weight on the bull when he asks for him. He has his feet on the slatted portion of the chute and then just scoots down on the rope as he nods for the bull to be turned out. So this might change the riding style of some of these people.
Raymond Lewis. Dad was
Lewis
in this business for quite some time.
On a bull called Prince Albert. Again, nothing around the bull's middle except this loose rope, which a handhold's been plaited or braided in. And the bull throws a little power to Raymond, and he's off with no score. We see Quail Dobbs and Seth Dalton, two of rodeo's finest bull fighters, excuse us.
And Raymond Lewis holding on to his right hand as he went into the fence. And there's the bull.
That was Seth Dalton, just barely getting out of the way of the horns of that bull.
And Quail Dobbs right in the middle. There's Quail. That has to be one of the most dangerous jobs in rodeo, being the clown.
These guys work hurt, you know. They get banged around a lot. Well, Whirligig is the bull, and Max Walder, a California cowboy, will attempt to ride him. Here's another veteran bull of the Cotton Rosser string that they don't ride very often. We're still, of course, looking for our first qualified ride. We'll have some before the performance is over, I'm sure. Again, we get a good look at the shotgun chutes where the sides, which are attached to springs, just fly open all at once. Here's Max Walder. Whirligig named because he spins. Went to the left and then reversed it, and that makes it doubly hard for the man to stay on. You get tapped off with the bull going one way, and then he goes the other way, and you lose your balance.
Spinning bull is the most difficult, is it not?
Sure is.
Bill Dunn from Anaheim.
Rodeo producers, of course, have a never-ending quest for good bucking bulls or good bucking horses. And all of the rules, incidentally, of our Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association have been passed on to the American Humane Association. We see now Bill Dunn with his hand in that loose rope. Notice he's riding with a glove to keep his hand from becoming too bruised or battered. He has put quite a bit of dry rosin to the portion of the rope that he's going to hold to help him get a better purchase. He's drawn a bull called Winston Crush Proof. This is a new bull. As we said, the quest of a rodeo producer for new stock is a never-ending one. We have never seen this bull buck, but I imagine he's a good bull. Our Cotton Rosser would not have him. So we're still looking for a first qualified ride. Dunn is not satisfied with the way the bull is standing in the chute. You can see a cowboy hat being waved at the bull to try to make the bull get his head up. Hand in the handhold, then the wrap around the hand, the final hit to close the hand a little more. Bull spinning, Dunn tapped off well with him. Now the bull reverses, Dunn in trouble, but he's going to weather the storm.
He held on.
And you see when a bull reverses, that makes it doubly hard for the man.
And a good ride by Bill Dunn.
Again, he was riding with his right hand, and the bull. We watch Bill Dunn. Now notice he rides with his right hand, and the bull is spinning away from his hand. Now, that's more difficult than had the bull been spinning into his hand or to the right. Now, right about here, the bull is going to reverse, and Bill is off balance for a moment, but look at him use his free hand, throw that in front of his body, which gets his balance back on center.
And there is our bull. Winston Crush Proof. He doesn't want to leave.
And a score, incidentally, of 67 for Bill Dunn. So again, we see Quail Dobbs and Seth Dalton plying their trade, and that's D.C. Cogburn, who's on the barrel now, not in the barrel. And a crossbred bull like this is like a buffalo. You can drive this bull where he wants to be driven. here's Jim Stone roping the bull. He's going to escort him out. The pickup men are the unsung heroes of every performance. They're everywhere, they do everything, and were it not for them, a performance might last, an hour longer. Especially in the bareback riding and bronc riding, they're able to ride up to the bucking horses and take the men off.
Tough score to beat. Bill Dunn, 67. Rich Mendoza, Son Old, California.
He's drawn Winston Super King, and this is a what the bull riders would call a good draw. By that we mean a bull that is not quite impossible to ride. You've got to draw good animals.
But he's a good enough bull.
But he's
to give
good
you
enough
points.
that usually if you ride him and do your job, you can usually win money on him. And that's what Rich Mendoza hopes that will happen for him this evening. He's a team roper as well, and it's debatable whether or not he's a better team roper or a better bull rider. He's very adequate in both events. Here's Rich. The bull's not going to turn back tonight. Did a little bit there. So he didn't go as well as Mendoza wanted him to go. A bull that spins will get more points on the judges' books than one that bucks straight away. This bull just didn't spin and didn't turn back.
We await the score for Rich Mendoza, our second qualifying rider, and a score of 54.
So here's Mendoza. Bull's bucking straight away, and you can see Rich, you just feel he's anticipating the bull to turn back. And as the bull riders say, do his thing. Well, he turned back there, but he really just kind of bucked in a circle. Now we see the loose rope in the hand, riding with the glove, pulling it down snugly, getting each finger pushed down. That's the ritual, and the slap with the other hand.
Steve Sunday.
And that was Steve Sunday's hand, and he's riding Old Brindle. A bull that goes both ways, then straightens out. And Sunday makes the whistle. And these bullfighters, like Seth Dalton and Quail Dobbs, right on top of the action to divert the bull's attention for a split second so the contestant has the opportunity to scramble to safety.
The question I have to ask is, how do you get on that bull the first time?
How do you what?
How do you get on that bull the first time, Clem?
Well,
That's
I
gotta be
think
the
personally
tough.
it takes a lot of guts. 59 incidentally for Steve Sunday. It's a challenge. I'll tell you what this man Barney Bremer told me last year. He's next to go. He's from Peterson, Iowa, and he's drawn Droopy, a very unpredictable bull. I asked Barney Bremer, I said, well, why do you ride bulls? He said, well, in today's society, there's not much a man can do on his own. And he said, you have the chance to ride an unridden bull. And when you do that, then you know that you have done something on your own that no other person in the world has ever done. He said, the money counts, yes, but he said it's that challenge. And I guess that's why men ride bulls. And I think he answered the question, Barney Bremer, about as well as I have ever had it answered.
It most certainly is a challenge.
Barney Bremer, he's a good bull rider. Capped off with this one all right. In trouble right there.
Came close, but
Oh, it was. And a very disappointed Barney Bremer. Look at him, look at the bull. He knows he came so close. Had he ridden the bull, we'd have had a new leader by probably 6 or 7 points maybe. But it just wasn't to be. The split seconds mean so much in this event. So it's a heartbreak.
they call that bull an unpredictable bull, and tonight he was a very strong bull.
Yes, sir.
Bill Cornell from Salmon, Idaho. He was a 1963 world champion. Bull rider.
12 or 13 years ago, before the finals moved from here in the Los Angeles area to Oklahoma City, Bill Cornell won the world's championship in this event at the age of 19, and he's practically retired now. We talked to him earlier. He said, well, I'm an old-timer at 33. He's drawn tonight a little lowly, and Bill Cornell comes from Salmon, Idaho. And we asked him, here's an old pro's answer to, what do you think about the shotgun shoots, you know, just falling away all at once? And he said, well, everybody has to nod at the same time.
Everybody's got the same problem, and again, here's Bill Cornell.
Cornell has still got it, hasn't he? Hey, here's a fine bull ride. Fine bull ride.
A very tough bull, little Ole.
So we saw in the calf roping an old pro come through, and we've seen the same thing happen in the bull riding. Here's a guy that's been riding him for 15 years. World's champion at the age of 19.
And we have a new leader, a time of 77 for Bill
Wonderful
Cornell.
score. Now watch, he rides with his right hand, as you can see. The bull is going away from his hand, not the best place for him to be. He makes a recovery there. He was in trouble and shifted his weight back. And right now, balance. Fine bull ride by Cornell.
Doug Brown is next. And Doug, the winner this evening of the saddle bronc riding competition.
See how Doug has his hat pulled down. His ears are perpendicular to his head. And see the feather he's wearing. Oh, 3 or 4 years ago, I don't know who started it, but several cowboys started wearing feathers for good luck. And now they, I think that's an eagle feather that Doug Brown has on. The world's champion in bull riding in 1969. He's drawn a bull called Festus. Now, Festus is a decent bucking bull, but he will hook about every time. If he bucks you off, he'll try to get you ordinarily. Or if you ride him, he'll try to get you. He jerked Doug Brown badly there.
So no time, no score for Doug Brown. John Bland, and there's old Festus leaving mighty quickly. John Bland from Trent, Texas.
John's father, a great calf roper and steer wrestler 20 years ago. His older brother, a former qualifier for the finals in steer wrestling. And John on the circuit is called Twiggy. A very slender guy. Could use 20 pounds, but a very fine bull rider. And he has still a younger brother that's a very fine college performer right now.
Crowd having some fun with the clouds. We're throwing a couple of footballs up into the stands. And this is our last rider, John Bland, with an opportunity to take the lead from Bill Cornell. Here he goes. A pretty good ride by John Bland.
A bull was hard to ride, admittedly, but he didn't spin, you know, nearly as well as Cornell's bull did, and but might have been just as hard to ride.
Now that's a particularly big bull.
Look, I was just starting to say, look at the size. It's 71 for Bland. Look at the size of this bull. He'll weigh about 1,800.
John Bland's ride good enough for second place in the bull riding competition. Bill Cornell is our winner with a score of 77. John Bland second, 71, and Bill Dunn finishes third with a very respectable score of 67. Our winner, Bill Cornell, a former champion.
And here is Cornell again to his disadvantage. The bull spinning away from his hand. Now, right about here, Cornell shows the years of experience when he's in trouble and gets back beautifully. Then the whistle blows. Look at him bail out. Almost makes the three-point landing. And for his efforts, a very fine marked ride of 77. So the old pros come from behind in the bull riding and the calf roping as well.
Quail just took his pants off. And day's work, that's the name of the bull.
And inside the barrel is D.C. Cogburn. Here's Quail running around the barrel. Cogburn is in there, and Quail's going to show the bull where Cogburn is. Cogburn just threw his football at the bull. So it takes some strange breed of man to become a rodeo clown and bullfighter.
Tough, difficult performance. The winner, Bill Cornell, in the bull riding competition here at the Forum in Inglewood, California. You know, Clem McSpadden, we spoke about your career in politics, and just how does a man mix the two, politics and rodeo, together?
Well, there's an amazing similarity, I think, between the rodeo arena and the political arena, in that there's bull in each profession, but I think the bull here in the rodeos arena is a bit more genuine.
You heard it from Clem McSpadden, former congressman from the state of Oklahoma and a gubernatorial candidate. Clem, this rodeo we saw tonight, some super performances. We had some surprises and great competition.
I think the greatest surprise I saw was Pete Norris, who we call old folks. He's been a great pro for over 20 years, and he practically decided to retire. And, he beat the calf ropers tonight with this smooth run. Then we saw Bill Cornell, who 14 years ago was the world's champion, and he's in summer retirement, and he made a great bull ride. And then we saw Doug Brown, who's leading for the world's title in bronc riding this year, lead the bronc riders. And all in all, we saw, I think, a tremendous performance. We saw Larry Mahan, who has only competed in half a dozen rodeos this year. He's coming back. Didn't do well tonight, but he's a great pro, and you're going to hear of him during the course of this season.
Pete Norris, who retired for some 3 weeks. That's almost as long as some politicians, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I won't comment on that.
Clem McSpadden, I just want to tell you, it's been a pleasure working with you, an educational experience. I'm sure our viewers feel the same way, and looking forward to seeing you again here on HBO.
Fine. I'm looking forward to it more than you know.
Clem McSpadden, who was with us this evening from Inglewood, California at the Forum, and that just about does it for the Forum Championship Rodeo. For Clem McSpadden, this is Spencer Ross saying so long from the fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California for HBO Sports.